G'day legends. Bitcoin. Should we buy Bitcoin now? The answer is very complicated because it depends on what your timeline is. I'll do an analogy too for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's one of those things that every influencer you watch, every person that talks about crypto, they say, you've got to have Bitcoin. You've got to have Bitcoin. And you know, it's got to be like 50% of your portfolio. So I'm probably going to upset some people and say, I don't agree with that. And there's reasons for that. First of all, for me, Bitcoin's a bit like water. Everyone likes water, everyone needs water, but people like it to different degrees. There's those people that, you know, you really, you know, they go everywhere with their drink bottles. You know, they're fancy ones, Frank Green and whatever the other new brand is. But for me, water, yep, water's okay. But would I prefer a beer? Yep. Would I even prefer a coffee? Yep. There are things better than water. And so for me, it's the analogy is there's things better than Bitcoin. I will speak specifically right now to this bull market. So we're going to say for the next year, roughly. So that's what we're expecting. Should you buy Bitcoin now? That all depends on how much money you've got. If you've got $10,000 and you decide you want to invest, are you happy walking away with so Bitcoin right now is 98,000 USD roughly. You know, my prediction, so these are just predictions, right? My prediction has grown. It originally was you know, 120,000 up to 180,000. Well, now that we've made it to 100,000 so fast, but earlier than I expected, you move your prediction. My prediction's now more like 180. So 160 probably minimum, 180 to 250, that area, right? So if you've got $10,000, in that instance, you're looking at 25,000 if you want to cash out at the end of this bull market. Is that a good idea? Would that do me? That's not what I'm after. Before I go any further, let me just remind everyone, I'm just some guy on the internet. This is not financial advice. You need to do your own research. I get that watching videos is part of how people do research these days, but really do your own research. This is just for entertainment, all right? With $10,000, I would be hoping, you know, I would be looking at coins that you could get a 5 to 10x. If you got $10,000 and you're looking at just this bull market, so just the next year, I'm adding some risk. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I've done from the start. So my portfolio is a bit larger than that now, but I'm still going for those 5 to 10x coins, and then you hope that you get scattered in there, you know, maybe a 20x coin. Yeah, you might get lucky, depending on what you pick. If you're talking long term, if you're talking 15, 20 years, then the answer is yes, you should buy Bitcoin. I should buy Bitcoin if I want to keep it for the next 20 years. But there's little side notes on that. We don't know who made Bitcoin. It was a person called Satoshi Nakamoto, right? That's a name on the internet. There are other theories behind that. Satoshi Nakamoto could have been more than one person. Satoshi Nakamoto is also said to be CIA, because they had written something similar to Bitcoin back in like the 80s or 90s. I can't remember off the top of my head. You can look these things up. do your own research. Also, and I tried to do my own research on this, but I have heard, and maybe they were using a ChatGPT or one of those new AI things, but if you translate Satoshi Nakamoto into Japanese and get the Japanese meaning, it is words that mean or similar or synonyms to CIA, Central Intelligence, or just Central Intelligence is the two. So that's literally what it's supposed to mean when you translate it. Why am I telling you this? Because at the end of the day, if you invest in something and you believe wholeheartedly that nothing can go wrong, you better hope you're right. So I keep those things at the back of my mind. Yes, I like Bitcoin. I like water. But I keep in the back of my mind that there's a chance that it was made for a different reason, that it wasn't really made by a man or a group that wanted to change things for the better for us common folk. That's another reason that I say, like, I'm sort of iffy on telling people, you know, to go hard or get a heap of Bitcoin, because if Satoshi Nakamoto's wallet comes alive, so it's never moved, so they theorize that the person is dead, that maybe of natural causes, maybe not. That's what they theorize, for the people who don't think it's like CIA or any of the government three-letter agencies. But what happens if that wallet comes alive? There's only two reasons it can. Someone has access to it, or the new thing is of quantum computing being able to hack Bitcoin in the future. Another reason that just be careful. I know Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is the whole reason for my channel, but I always tell the truth. I always tell you what I'm thinking, and I don't like to sugarcoat it. So for me, Bitcoin is like one of those things when I'm making profits off of altcoins. I plan to take, excuse me a second, I've been out in the garden, my hands are filthy. I plan to take maybe 10% of profits and keep it aside for Bitcoin. That'll be enough for me. If I'm wrong, well, it's not even if I'm wrong, I'm just being cautious, but say if I'm wrong and it just keeps going up forever and then nothing ever comes from Satoshi Nakamoto's wallets and that, fine, that's all good. I can live with that. I'm I'd say medium cautious person, but I never put all my eggs in one basket, as it were. And I can tell you that's a bad idea. I have chooks, and I have a 5-year-old who collects the eggs, and he quite often puts all the eggs in one bucket, and it's amazing how often he manages to drop them. Anyway, so the shorts and longs of what I've just told you. Be cautious about the background of where Bitcoin came from. Always keep it at the back of your mind. If you are going to go hard, if something goes wrong, that's on you. And, you know, we always know that there are people, evil people out in the world that may want to make things go wrong for us. Bitcoin for the short term, for this bull market specifically, do I think it's a buy now? No, not for me anymore. Not for the amount of money I have or had when I first started in this. I don't think it's worth buying at this particular level for the gains that I'm after. For 15 to 20 years and onwards, sure. Bitcoin right now, if you just want to DCA into it, but as I was saying, only put in money that you can afford to lose if something goes wrong. If you want to DCA in like a small amount each week or whatever, and you're going, yep, that's just a part of my nest egg that I want to keep there. Yep, cool. Long term, great idea. But there's so many better financial vehicles in the crypto market for this particular next year, this bull market that we're looking at right now, that if you want to make decent life-changing money, Bitcoin's not a buy right now, in my opinion. As I've said, my opinion, not financial advice, just for the entertainment, but just my thoughts. And I've been putting this video off because there's going to be some people out there, the lovers of Bitcoin, that are going to be like, you're an absolute loser, what are you talking about? Don't care. Unfortunately, they're not going to like what I've said. I don't have a big enough following, they might not watch it, who cares? Anyone that loves Bitcoin that much probably has a lot of it. They probably don't watch any video YouTubes. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. Take it cautiously. Probably don't take it this year. Find something better. Yeah, do your own research, but find things that have a bit of utility, things that have cult followings, things that people hate. Find things that people hate, because things that people hate, other people seem to love. Look into these things, do your research, and find something that's going to move better, because once the altcoin season really takes off, Bitcoin will be left in the dust. Have a great afternoon, evening. Do something nice for someone else. Crypto Bogan out.